Chapter 10. The Ship, Replica, was massive and mind-blowing. When people think of Titanic, they often picture the grandeur of the ship, and for good reason. Cameron didn't settle for miniatures or green screen effects alone. He commissioned a nearly full-scale replica of the Titanic, built at a studio in Mexico. This wasn't just a simple set, it was a colossal structure, stretching over 775 feet in length. Imagine the logistics: constructing a floating replica of one of history's most famous ships, ensuring every deck, every staircase, and every railing matched the original blueprints with painstaking accuracy. The exterior hull was nearly 90% accurate, capturing the sleek elegance that made Titanic the epitome of luxury in 1912. On set, actors could walk the decks and actually feel the ship beneath their feet, giving performances a grounding that CGI alone could never provide. The interior was just as impressive. From the grand staircase to the dining rooms, every detail was meticulously recreated. Chandeliers sparkled under warm lights, rich wood panels glimmered, and carpets were reproduced to match period photographs. Extras were dressed in period-accurate costumes, walking through the hallways as if they'd just stepped out of 1912. The scale wasn't just for show. It was necessary for Cameron to film wide-angle shots that immersed audiences in the environment. Watching Jack and Rose dance or run through corridors feels believable because they were navigating a real, tangible space. The crew even had to worry about the set-US interaction with water. Sections of the ship were built to be flooded safely for the sinking scenes, meaning entire portions were constructed to endure the force of controlled water while maintaining historical accuracy. The attention to detail didn't just impress audiences. It inspired a whole generation of filmmakers to consider physical sets as essential tools for storytelling, proving that sometimes the bigger the scale, the more unforgettable the experience. Every railing, every lamp, every corridor was designed to transport viewers to another time and place. This set wasn't just a backdrop, it was a character, influencing performances and shaping the story's emotional weight. Number 9. Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio's audition process was intense. While the ship was impressive, the real magic of Titanic came from its leads, Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio. Casting Rose and Jack was a critical step that Cameron approached with painstaking precision. Both actors underwent grueling auditions that weren't just about reading lines, they were about capturing the essence of these characters. Leonardo DiCaprio had to embody the charm, daring, and vulnerability of Jack Dawson, a young artist with dreams bigger than his circumstances. Kate Winslet needed to portray Rose's transformation, from a constrained upper-class girl suffocating under societal expectations to a woman claiming her freedom and heart. Interestingly, both actors had moments of doubt. Winslet reportedly struggled with the idea of kissing DiCaprio on camera at first. She was shy and nervous, which in hindsight added authenticity to Rose's tentative and forbidden attraction. DiCaprio, meanwhile, had to audition for multiple parts and demonstrate he could carry the weight of a lead role in a blockbuster that relied heavily on emotional depth as well as star power. The chemistry between them wasn't forced. It was painstakingly nurtured through hours of rehearsals, conversations, and sharing personal insights. Cameron often pushed both actors to extremes, requiring multiple takes for intimate scenes to ensure every glance, every subtle smile, and every whispered line conveyed the right emotion. This was especially true for scenes like the infamous "draw me like one of your French girls" moment, which demanded vulnerability and trust between the two actors. Their commitment paid off. The authenticity of their connection on screen is one of the reasons audiences around the world still root for Jack and Rose decades later. Casting wasn't just about talent, it was about endurance. Both actors had to withstand long, physically demanding shoots, with temperatures dropping during water scenes and hours spent in cramped, makeshift sets. It wasn't glamour, it was craft. Yet their performances feel effortless, demonstrating how preparation, trust, and dedication can create cinematic magic that resonates across generations. Number 8. The sinking scenes were filmed in a giant water tank. One of the most memorable aspects of Titanic is, of course, the ship's tragic sinking. But the way James Cameron brought this catastrophe to life was nothing short of cinematic genius. Instead of relying solely on CGI, Cameron constructed a massive water tank in Baja California, Mexico, specifically designed to handle the intense filming sequences. This tank wasn't just a pool. It was a fully operational environment capable of simulating freezing Atlantic waters, turbulent waves, and flooding interiors. Imagine being an actor or extra, wading through chest-high water, enduring powerful currents, and performing emotional, heart-wrenching scenes that demanded precision, timing, and authenticity. The tank measured hundreds of feet in length, allowing for full-scale sections of the ship to be submerged and tilted to mimic the actual sinking. Interiors like cabins, corridors, and the grand staircase were built on hydraulics, capable of tilting and flooding on cue. These mechanics allowed the crew to film complex sequences in real time, capturing actors' reactions to the chaos around them. Every splash, tumble, and wave was genuine, giving viewers the visceral sense of being aboard a ship doomed to sink. The commitment to realism extended to the actors themselves. DiCaprio, Winslet, and the ensemble cast endured multiple takes in freezing water, often spending hours submerged, struggling to deliver authentic reactions while avoiding exhaustion or hypothermia. Cameron A.'s insistence on practical effects in the water tank created a realism that CGI alone could never replicate. Even today, fans and filmmakers marvel at how immersive these sequences remain, decades later. The sinking scenes are not just thrilling. They are a testament to the extraordinary effort behind the camera. It's no wonder audiences feel an emotional punch with every tilt of the deck, every wave crashing over the passengers, and every desperate struggle to survive. This tank was more than a filming location. It was a crucible that forged unforgettable performances and unforgettable cinematic moments. Number 7. The costume design was unbelievably detailed. While the sets and water tank provided realism on a physical level, the costumes ensured authenticity in appearance and character portrayal. Deborah Lynn Scott, the Academy Award-winning costume designer for Titanic, spent months researching and recreating period-accurate attire for hundreds of cast and extras. From elegant gowns and tailored suits to intricate hats and gloves, every piece of clothing reflected the social class, personality, and aspirations of the character wearing it. For Rose, played by Kate Winslet, the costumes were particularly symbolic. The dramatic shift in her wardrobe, from constraining upper-class gowns to more liberated, flowing outfits, mirrored her personal transformation throughout the film. Creating these costumes was no small feat. Fabrics had to be authentic to the era, often imported from Europe to ensure quality and period accuracy. Beads, lace, and embroidery were painstakingly hand-applied, reflecting the opulence of first-class passengers. Even the extras, who populated dining rooms, hallways, and decks, wore meticulously crafted attire to maintain consistency and believability in crowd scenes. In fact, the costumes were so detailed that they often became conversation pieces on set, with crew members admiring the craftsmanship and accuracy. The costume department also faced unique challenges during water scenes. Many outfits were not designed to get wet, so duplicates were crafted specifically for submersion, while still maintaining visual continuity. Actors performed in fully soaked costumes, adding weight and discomfort, which made their movements look authentic and heightened the emotional intensity of scenes. Imagine Rose and Jack clinging to each other in freezing water, the fabric of their clothing dragging and resisting. These subtle details, painstakingly designed, contributed immeasurably to the tension and realism of the sequence. The wardrobe wasn't just about style. It was a storytelling tool, conveying social dynamics, personal growth, and historical authenticity. Together, the massive water tank and meticulous costume design demonstrate Cameron's obsessive commitment to realism. While modern films often rely heavily on digital effects, Titanic blended practical engineering, physical performance, and artistic detail to create a world that audiences could believe in and emotionally invest in. Every ripple of water, every soaked layer of fabric, and every reaction of the cast was captured with precision, making viewers feel like witnesses to history rather than just spectators of a movie. Moreover, these two facts, issue 8 and 7, highlight a remarkable balance in filmmaking. Technical innovation paired with artistic expression. The water tank allowed for the practical realization of one of history's most dramatic maritime disasters, while the costumes ensured that every character, from lead to background, was visually anchored in their period and social context. By combining these elements, Cameron created a cinematic experience that engages multiple senses: sight, emotion, and even the implied sensation of cold, wet peril. It's also worth noting how these efforts affected the actors' performances. Wearing heavy period costumes while immersed in frigid water demanded not only physical endurance but also emotional authenticity. Each gasp, shiver, and desperate reach felt real because it was real. This marriage of environment and attire gave audiences a fully immersive experience, heightening the stakes of the tragedy and ensuring that the film's emotional beats landed with maximum impact. Even today, decades after its release, viewers remain captivated by these sequences. Behind every iconic moment lies a careful orchestration of engineering, design, and performance. The water tank was more than a set. It was an instrument of tension. The costumes were more than clothing. They were extensions of character and narrative. Together, they embody the painstaking care and dedication that defined Titanic as not only a box office phenomenon, but a landmark in cinematic craftsmanship. Issue 6, the visual effects, were groundbreaking for their time. While practical sets and water tanks provided authenticity, Titanic also pushed the boundaries of digital technology. James Cameron collaborated with Industrial Light and Magic, ILM, to create visual effects that seamlessly blended with real-world sets, creating a believable depiction of the ship's journey and tragic sinking. Unlike many films of the era, Titanic didn't rely solely on digital imagery. Instead, the team integrated CGI with full-scale models and live-action footage to enhance realism. Creating the ship digitally required incredible precision. Every deck, porthole, and railing was modeled to match historical blueprints, ensuring that when digital scenes were combined with practical shots, the audience could not distinguish between real and computer-generated elements. One of the most impressive feats was depicting the ship's final moments as it broke apart. The CGI had to convey the immense weight, structural collapse, and subtle tilts, all while maintaining continuity with live-action footage of the actors and sets. For example, when the grand staircase floods and collapses, viewers see both real actors reacting and digitally rendered debris interacting with water in ways that feel tangible. These visual effects were time-consuming and painstaking. It took months to render individual sequences, with multiple teams working on elements such as water simulation, fire, lighting, and crowd duplication. Cameron was known for insisting on perfection, often requiring several iterations of a single shot. The team even developed proprietary software to simulate realistic icebergs and their interaction with the ship, capturing reflections, shadows, and light in ways previously unseen in film. The result is a seamless blend of digital artistry and practical effects that remains impressive even by today's standards. Audiences might not consciously notice every detail, but subconsciously, these effects make the story emotionally immersive and visually convincing, enhancing both suspense and tragedy. Issue 5, the music and score, created an emotional connection. While visuals and sets brought realism, it was James Horner's musical score that elevated Titanic into an unforgettable emotional experience. The music didn't just accompany scenes. It amplified every heartbeat, every gasp, and every tear, creating an emotional resonance that words alone could not achieve. Horner incorporated traditional orchestral elements alongside unique instrumentation, such as Celtic motifs, to evoke a sense of time and place while reflecting the romantic and tragic themes of the film. Perhaps the most iconic piece is My Heart Will Go On, performed by Celine Dion. This song became synonymous with Titanic and played a crucial role in connecting audiences emotionally with the story. But even beyond the hit single, the score underlines tension, longing, and despair throughout the film. For instance, during the sinking sequences, swelling strings and somber horns punctuate the chaos, guiding viewers through the terror and heartbreak without a single word being spoken. Horner's meticulous attention to timing and instrumentation ensured that music was not merely background. It was an emotional narrator, telling what visuals alone could not. The score also served practical purposes during filming. Actors would sometimes rehearse scenes with music cues to match timing, particularly in dance sequences or moments requiring precise choreography. This integration of music into performance allowed Jack and Rose AS interactions to feel more spontaneous and alive. Additionally, Horner composed distinct themes for different characters and social classes, subtly guiding audience perception and reinforcing narrative layers. For example, the affluent first-class passengers are often accompanied by elegant, sweeping melodies, while Jack and other third-class characters are framed with livelier, folk-inspired motifs. This musical storytelling helped reinforce the film's exploration of class differences, love, and mortality, deepening audience engagement. Together, the visual effects and the score exemplify Titanic's dual commitment to technical innovation and emotional storytelling. CGI and practical effects created a believable historical setting, while Horner's music transformed that setting into a fully immersive emotional journey. Viewers are not just witnessing the story, they are feeling every moment, from exhilaration and romance to fear and sorrow. This careful orchestration of sight and sound ensures that Titanic continues to resonate with audiences across generations, making it more than a film. It becomes a shared emotional experience that lingers long after the credits roll. Year 4. The attention to historical accuracy was astonishing. While Titanic is widely known for its epic romance, James Cameron was equally committed to historical authenticity. Every prop, costume, and set piece was carefully researched to reflect the real RMS Titanic and the society of 1912. Historians, maritime experts, and Titanic survivors. Accounts were consulted extensively to ensure the film AS depiction was as accurate as possible. For instance, even seemingly minor details like the pattern on the first-class dining room china or the arrangement of deck chairs were reproduced based on photographs, blueprints, and surviving artifacts. Cameron's dedication extended to social hierarchy and passenger behavior. First-class guests were portrayed with elegant manners and formal attire, while third-class passengers engaged in lively, authentic interactions, including music and dancing. The film even depicted the rigid separation between classes aboard the ship, illustrating how social structures influenced survival during the disaster. These subtle touches enhanced realism, making audiences feel like they were observing history rather than just a dramatized story. The director went further by meticulously recreating the ship's interiors, such as the grand staircase, cabins, and boiler rooms. The attention to detail even included the positioning of light fixtures, the textures of wall panels, and the layout of furniture. This obsessive accuracy allowed actors to move naturally within spaces that mirrored reality, resulting in performances grounded in authentic environments. The historical fidelity contributed not only to visual believability, but also to emotional impact. Viewers sense the reality of the tragedy because every element of the world around the characters is convincingly real. Moreover, Cameron even simulated the ship's mechanics. When the Titanic tilts and floods, the engineering of the set and the angles of the ship ES replica were calculated to mirror actual sinking dynamics. Combined with historical accuracy in props and social behavior, this created a level of immersion rarely achieved in cinema. Audiences weren't merely watching a movie, they were stepping back in time, witnessing a catastrophic event as if it had truly happened, which made every moment of suspense and heartbreak feel immediate and personal. Number 3. The film broke box office, records, and cultural boundaries. While many films achieve critical acclaim, few attain the commercial and cultural impact of Titanic. Upon its release in 1997, the movie shattered box office records, eventually becoming the highest-grossing film of its time, earning over $1 billion worldwide. But its success wasn't just financial. It crossed cultural and geographic boundaries, resonating with audiences from all walks of life. Families, teenagers, and older viewers alike were captivated by the story, making it a shared global experience. The film's universal appeal stemmed from a blend of romance, historical tragedy, and groundbreaking spectacle. Jack and Rose's love story provided an emotional anchor, giving audiences someone to root for amidst the chaos of the sinking. Meanwhile, the scale of production, from the ship's grandeur to the flood sequences, offered visual thrills that drew viewers into the cinematic experience. Marketing campaigns also amplified the hype, with trailers emphasizing the epic scale, dramatic tension, and intimate romance, ensuring audiences felt compelled to witness the phenomenon firsthand. Cultural impact extended beyond theaters. Titanic inspired fashion trends, themed merchandise, and even tourism to Titanic museums and memorials. Phrases like, "I'm the king of the world," became instantly recognizable, permeating popular culture and media references worldwide. Its influence on music was equally remarkable, with Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On" becoming a global anthem, topping charts and winning awards. The film also set a precedent for future blockbusters, demonstrating that combining historical events with strong emotional narratives could create universal appeal. Furthermore, Titanic won numerous awards, including 11 Oscars, highlighting its excellence in directing, production design, costume design, and musical score. These accolades validated Cameron's relentless pursuit of authenticity and innovation. The film's success proved that audiences not only crave spectacle but also deeply appreciate compelling storytelling anchored in realism. It became more than entertainment. It became a cultural touchstone, a movie people remember decades later, and a benchmark against which other epic romances and historical dramas are measured. Number 2. The actors endured. Extreme conditions for authenticity. One of the most remarkable aspects of Titanic was the physical and emotional dedication demanded of its cast. Filming the sinking sequences wasn't just challenging, it was downright grueling. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, and the supporting cast often spent hours submerged in icy water, wearing heavy period costumes that became waterlogged and cumbersome. The actors faced real physical stress, simulating the experience of passengers trapped on a sinking ship. Temperatures in the tanks dropped well below comfortable levels, and safety measures had to be rigorously enforced to prevent hypothermia or injury. Beyond the cold, actors had to perform emotionally charged scenes, reacting to extreme fear, panic, and despair. For extras portraying first-class guests, maintaining poise amidst chaos required immense concentration. For third-class passengers, it meant dancing, singing, or running through flooding corridors while remaining safe and visible to the cameras. The physicality of these performances heightened the realism of every frame, giving audiences a sense of immediacy and immersion. Cameron pushed the cast to convey authentic reactions in highly controlled chaos. This dedication paid off on screen. When Rose clings to Jack in the freezing water or passengers scramble for lifeboats, viewers aren't watching actors pretend. They're witnessing people experiencing genuine peril. The extreme conditions blurred the line between performance and reality, creating emotional intensity that resonates even decades later. DiCaprio and Winslet's commitment to authenticity is a testament to the lengths actors and filmmakers will go to craft a truly immersive cinematic experience. Their efforts ensured that every gasp, every shiver, and every desperate gesture contributed to the epic and heart-wrenching storytelling that makes Titanic unforgettable. Moreover, these conditions fostered a unique bond among the cast. Spending long hours in challenging environments created camaraderie and trust, which translated into natural chemistry on screen. The actors weren't just playing a romantic couple. They were sharing a physically and emotionally taxing journey together, which added depth and believability to Jack and Rose's connection. Audiences may never see the behind-the-scenes struggles, but they feel the authenticity, which is a major reason why Titanic continues to evoke tears, joy, and admiration worldwide. Arc 1. James Cameron's Obsessive. Perfectionism. Shaped every detail. At the very top of our list is James Cameron himself, whose relentless perfectionism was the driving force behind Titanic's success. Cameron is known for his meticulous attention to detail, and this film was no exception. He personally oversaw nearly every aspect of production, from set construction and costume design to casting decisions and visual effects. His commitment to authenticity and quality often pushed cast and crew to their limits, but it resulted in a film that feels both epic in scale and intimate in emotion. Cameron's obsession extended to historical research. He studied the ship's blueprints, passenger manifests, and survivor testimonies to ensure that every scene reflected reality. He insisted on precise accuracy in props, set layouts, and even character movements. When filming the grand staircase flooding, Cameron required multiple takes, adjusting water levels, angles, and actor positions until every element aligned with his vision. Similarly, he pushed for innovative technology, combining practical sets, full-scale models, and cutting-edge CGI to depict the sinking with unprecedented realism. His perfectionism also shaped performances. Cameron worked closely with DiCaprio, Winslet, and supporting actors, demanding repeated takes to capture subtle gestures, glances, and emotional nuances. Even minor extras had guidance to ensure their behavior reflected 1912 social norms and added depth to the story. Cameron's insistence on precision extended to the soundtrack as well, collaborating with James Horner to time music cues perfectly with narrative beats, reinforcing tension, romance, and tragedy. The result of Cameron's perfectionism is a film that transcends its story. Audiences aren't just watching Jack and Rose. They re-immersed in a meticulously crafted world where every visual, sound, and performance element enhances believability and emotional resonance. His uncompromising approach also influenced the film industry, inspiring future filmmakers to pursue both technical innovation and authentic storytelling, proving that dedication and attention to detail can create a cinematic masterpiece that stands the test of time. Together, facts Trigger 2 and Number 1 reveal why Titanic became more than just a movie. It became an experience. The actors' physical endurance, emotional authenticity, and Cameron's obsessive oversight created a synergy that transported audiences directly into 1912. Every icy wave, soaked costume, trembling gasp, and intricate set detail contributed to a cinematic environment that feels tangible, heartbreaking, and unforgettable. Ultimately, Titanic remains a landmark in film history because it combines human drama, technological innovation, and artistic vision. From massive sets and accurate costumes to groundbreaking visual effects, sweeping music, and painstaking performances, every element works in harmony. Cameron's obsession, paired with the cast and crew's dedication, transformed a historical tragedy into a universal story of love, loss, and human resilience. Audiences around the world continue to be moved, inspired, and captivated decades after its release. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and share it with friends who love movies and cinematic history. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our countdowns on the most fascinating film facts, and click the bell icon to be notified whenever a new video drops. Join our community and dive deeper into the incredible stories behind your favorite movies. Every like, share, and subscribe helps us create more content that takes you behind the scenes of cinema's greatest masterpieces. Don't miss out on the magic. Immerse yourself in the world of film with us